The radio team. The radio team have been busy this week rescuing people. The apology officer has rescued the stats after they were accidentally put through the digital shredder, and has been busy with a printer, some glue, and a lot of patience putting them back together again. Chicks has been attempting to rescue everywhere in the galaxy from mods, one mug and one gin at a time. Aemilia has had to rescue one of the night shift after they put some jelly on their toast. Matrona experienced jelly, to be specific, and has had to put a notice up in the station canteen. Jelly wobbles or comes in tubes. Jam is not jelly. Jam is jam, and jelly is jelly. Jelly does not go on toast, or you will be unwell. Jelly on toast is only acceptable in the night shift lounge, where it is specially labelled for your convenience. Jam is, however, what happens to the shredder when the apology officer accidentally drops the stats into it. Flossy has been rescuing Cecil after the drinks cabinet fell on him. Well, it was 50-50 to be fair. He was in the process of drinking his way clear at the time, and she felt that even he couldn't get through that much. And Banter has been rescuing a cake from the extreme risk of not being eaten. However, so as to prevent the show having to be rescued from the automated emergency broadcast, the crew have taken preventative measures and arrived in plenty of time to be able to say,
our mics are finally live! My goodness, that was some hard work. Whew, but we're live. Good evening, truckers and friends everywhere. I'm Rudolph Hucker, and I'm joined tonight in the studio by...
Wilma Fingerdo.
Mia Harkness.
Frank Kerr.
And me.
You're supposed to tell them who you are.
Oh, sorry. Norma Snockers. Hello, everyone.
And after that briefest of introductions, I suppose it's time for some headlines. Tharg is lost in space.
The rats are back with a daring rescue in Hutton space.
Too Hot, Too Messy, week 07 update.
We raise the bar as lawyers. Get legal.
Cock and balls up in Hardy's Holiday Haven.
War in the wardrobe.
And expeditions galore.
Depending upon your point of view, the news that's about to follow is either good or bad news. Tharg is lost. Or what we assume is Tharg. The Stargoids, the appearance of which, heading for the bubble, caused much consternation and panic, and quite a lot of curiosity amongst people who don't subscribe to the link between that trait and what happens to cats, aren't making a beeline for anything. It appears from Canon Interstellar's Predictatron that they're stopping to ask directions on a regular basis, and, depending on who they're asking, making wrong turns, U-turns, unscheduled diversions, and indeed just bimbling about the place. As all good Brits and our Aussie cousins know, the only acceptable way of giving directions is via pubs. Go straight on until you see the King's Head, then turn left and right by the Emperor of Space. If you reach the HR 7221 Wheat Sheaf, you've gone too far. But there aren't pubs in deep space, so maybe that's where they're going wrong. Survivalist types throughout the galaxy, also known as preppers, have had to re-evaluate quite how many tins of spam they'll need for when what they describe as the inevitable fall of mankind arrives, and are potentially looking at having to start drinking their own urine well before Tharg turns up. as they've already sealed themselves in. There are alternative theories, of course. The first being that going quite that fast in supercruise is a little taxing on fuel loads, and Tharg's mighty minions are having, like a 21st century electric car, to stop off regularly to top off the reserves. Are the courses going via barnacle sites? Could an enterprising commander pop down to one of them and find themselves in the 33808 equivalent of Independence Day, when the big saucer flies overhead and shoots a beam at the ground? Or are the Stargoids scooping from stars as we do? Another theory is, of course, that Azimuth ringing Tharg's doorbell has actually woken up another faction of Thargoids. Many years ago, there were rumours of two factions, the Arisians and Klaxians. Could it be that by playing Postman's Knock over in HIP, Azimuth have told one lot of Thargoids where the others were hiding? Could we be on the brink of not a human versus alien conflict, but instead be about to be caught in a big versus little Indian squabble, which would make us Gulliver, just not as big? And finally, there's the option that it isn't Thargoids at all, it's something else. But given the big green clouds and protective mothers, fathers and others that we mentioned last week, we reckon that one's probably wrong. At this stage, all we do know is that a handful of glowing things have gone walkabout, and we don't even know yet if they're wearing cork hats.
With all the Hutton runs being recorded during the Too Hot Too Messy campaign, it was inevitable that someone would eventually come unstuck. Hutton's a long way, and pilots, being encouraged to use smaller ships so they can access orbitals and smaller settlements, have been putting their little snakes out of storage and putting away their big ones. Of course, as everyone knows, with a smaller ship comes a smaller fuel tank, and Supercruise doesn't discriminate on how big you are when it comes to draining said tank. What follows is a transcript from Shattermage, moonlighting as a fuel rat. Rescue was on Saturday, the 17th. I think it was my 4th ever rescue. The distress signal came from Commander Mate 09 in Alpha Centauri on Horizons 3.8, and they said they were about 2,182,000 light seconds from Hutton Orbital, about 30 minutes short. Myself and Commander Honeywolf were dispatched and instructed to jump to Fulham, where we docked with the fleet carrier Voodoo 1, owned by our dispatcher, Commander NL Paradox. We jumped directly to Proxima Centauri, undocked, and jumped into Supercruise in the direction of Alpha Centauri A. Upon establishing a wing, their location was confirmed, and we had them log out to save fuel. 30 minutes later, we arrived at the position. They logged back in and winged up. I was the first to drop in and deliver the first fueling limpet. It turned out they may have actually had enough fuel after some confusion about reading the fuel gauge. Still, I topped their Cobra Mark III off with a fuel tank, and they proceeded to Hutton Orbital without further incident. They logged off to go to sleep shortly after. Whether or not they bought a mug, gin, or checked on the Anaconda stock is unknown. While we were on the way, Mate 09 relaxed in our Ratchet IRC channel and got a wealth of new player information. In order to avoid your pride and joy being melted down to make more mugs after being found derelict, we'd like to remind commanders to top up their tanks before attempting a Hutton run. Make sure your ship can actually make it, and of course, if the inevitable happens, you can always call the fuel rats. They have fuel, you don't. Any questions?
We are starting the 8th week of Too Hot Too Messy, the Hutton-led initiative to deliver Hutton mugs and Centauri Megagin to every single station in the galaxy. Commanders have been hiding mugs and gin in wheelie bins all over the galaxy, and we are now approaching the 25,000 mark. Mug deliveries are down by 1/3 this week to under 2,000, so get involved and keep the momentum going. Remember, every mug counts. 199 commanders are taking part. Are you going to be the 200th commander to sign up? One more squadron joined this week, making 69 in total. Hutton are still blazing away at the head of the squadron leaderboard, romping past 9,000 deliveries earlier this week. The Winged Hussars have firmly established themselves in second place, with over 1,200 muggings, and the Paladins are third, having broken the 1,000 point earlier today. He who shall not be named is still out in front with over 1,750 mugs delivered. However, he's been chased down by Nem, who has passed the 1,500 mark this week, but Mouse 8287 is ever close behind on 1,300. Waller81 is in fourth with bang on 1,000. How do we know all this? Because it is tracked by the marvel that is the Hutton Helper and updated live on the Too Hot, Too Messy event page at hot.forthemug.com/hotmess2. At this rate, we'll have delivered a canister of Hutton mugs and Centauri Megagen to every station in the galaxy by Christmas. Precisely which Christmas we are going to speculate as we find more and more stations each week. How do I join in the fun, I hear you ask? Well, first you need to give in to your space FOMO and sign up by downloading the Hutton Helper from hot.forthemug.com/download, where your mug and gin deliveries will be automatically counted for you by Antarius Fusion's magical mathematical hamsters.
Lawyers throughout the galaxy are rubbing their hands together with glee as rumours circulate that the whole incident over in HIP 22460 might get a little litigious. Ignoring for a second that the consequences of the big oops, as it's known in Hutton circles, might actually be the beginning of the end of the human race. Actually, we're not sure the lawyers of 3308 are part of the human race. They were kicked out in the 2700s and reclassified as a form of leech. The actions of Salvation, Azimuth, and indeed the Federation, Empire and Alliance have come under the microscope as where there's a claim, there's blame, and the Bank of Zeons have started what there were an awful lot of claims immediately following the big blue dome that wasn't. Whether it's a class action suit from commanders that required new underwear after the incidents, those who claim that rewatching the video footage over and over again caused their brains to rot, or those that have been advised by pre-loss adjusters that there are likely to be things on fire, probings and shenanigans in the next 3 months, there are lawyers circulating the whole incident like flies around bio-waste. With the Bank of Zeons covering losses as a result of the incident, our sources tell us that only 4,000 ships from the Pilots Federation were destroyed, which is marginally fewer than Terran mops up in a Hasres in a single sitting, so the likelihood of them being even marginally out of pocket is low. Of course, the capital ships and various large vessels that were sent to video the proceedings might cost a penny or two, but with Brewer Corporation appearing to be awash with cash sufficient that they can hand out bog-off carriers to former hotbox commanders like Squeezies at a pick and mix, we don't believe they're affected much either. Then there's the family of Salvation, but no one can find them as no one knows who he is. Interestingly, to date, he has been the only casualty that hasn't been replaced through the hanky clonomat, leading speculators down the path of believing the Salvation Lives graffiti. Universal Cartographics might submit a claim for redrawing star maps in that area with a big red hazard line around HIP 22460. Then again, the incoming Stargoids might just be Tharg's very own lawyers coming to slap someone with a cease and desist order. Jurisdiction is a problem as well. Exactly who had legal authority over the area? Deep space is considered intergalactic waters under various charters, and other than aboard your own ship where your word is law, is there any such thing as law breaking in a system where your shipboard system's quite obviously listed as lawless? There might be a sniff of a chance under various archaeological protections, but that would rely upon classifying alien structures as A. old, and B, ruins. And as we can't get close, the burden of proof might be a little high. Then there's the question of punishment. In a galaxy where loitering is punishable by death, and assuming that someone broke a law of some sort, what's the penalty for bringing about the potential destruction of the human race? It has been suggested that they were strapped to a chair and forced to listen to the collected audiobooks of Messrs. Wagar and Stroud for a number of years might suffice. After all, what is a fate worse than death? What's most likely to happen is a crossbreed between a kangaroo court and an angry mob. Frontier justice. Grab the nearest dead sus looking person and give them a lift with the aid of a nearby tree.
Hutton Orbital Incident Report. Date of incident 21st September 3308. Location Hardy Tourism Resort, Shinrarta Desra. Type of incident property damage. Reporting officer Mia Harkness. On behalf of myself and Hutton Orbital, I would like to apologise to the staff and guests at Hardy Tourism Resort for recent activities which may have caused them some distress. The resort had been mothballed during the off-season due to extremely high temperatures and a wee spot of harmful radiation. The chocolates on people's pillows kept melting and the swimming pool had somehow boiled off. Commander Chucklefoot had been hired to recommission the facility ready for housekeeping staff to get in and turn the beds down. I was due to meet him for business purposes, so we decided to make a day of it by going to the clubhouse for brunch and a cool drink once it opened. Sadly, some local youths had been helping themselves to the contents of the booze cellar and were now holed up in the power building, singing dirty songs and peeing in the power regulator cradle. Chucklefoot politely asked the group to leave so that he could complete his task, but they refused, jeering and throwing empty cider bottles at him, glass ones too. This was both rude and disrespectful to Commander Chucklefoot, so I felt I had to intervene. I sent off a few rocket volleys and followed on with a laser light show to hurry them on their way, and bar a few charred, mangled corpses, this did the trick. We restored power to the facility, and it was only when the housekeeping staff arrived we realised that my laser fire may have inadvertently etched the outline of a cock and balls onto the side of one building and across the ground. We were still discussing whether this would buff out when the first shuttles arrived with families from all over the bubble eager to begin their holidays and see the sights in Shinrarta Desra. Well, they saw the sights alright. One sight in particular as the pilot approached from just the right angle to make everything line up nicely. I can only apologise. No, really, I get into trouble if I do anything else. And say that we really are very, very sorry. And thanks for the free drinks at the bar. Mia Harkness, Apology Officer, Hutton Orbital.
It hasn't been a particularly busy week in Hutton space, with just one issue gaining all the attention. A war in the wardrobe. Where else? More on that story coming up. Taking a week off from its regular slot at the bottom of the pile, albeit not by much, is Barnard's Star on 36%. There is one conflict in the system tying up 20% of influence, but it's not a bad time to boost the system, by Barnard's Star measures at least. Filling out the Miscreants roster this week, we have 5 systems. A shade below 38% is the very slow to move Epsilon Indy. On 38 are Epsilon Eridani, Kakari and Trepin. In the latter of these, Trepin, the CIA came to within 2 points of Hutton earlier in the week, but were pushed back by King Hanky and his clone army and allies. Then there is Kakari, still recovering from its recent infrastructure failure. Lastly, poor little Avic, sat alone on 39, battered and ragged from the recent depredation of famine, blood, bust, blight, frogs, and Lee Yongri's Sirius Corporation. However, to visit the last of the delinquents and this week's low system on the pole on 34, we need to open a door, step through the moth-eaten furs, avoid being poked in the eye by coat hangers, and then boot out the back of the wardrobe into the forest into Narences, better known in Hutton space as Narnia. Earlier in the week, the dim lamppost in the forest allowed us to see that the Luyton 347-14 prison colony had closed the gap on Hutton and were poised to deliver a blow. Lion in wait, you could say. Oh, sorry. Here at Hutton, putting up Yang Orbital as bait, we watch them come steadily on, allowing them to step confidently into the trap, eyeing a new station as the prize for their folly. The war started yesterday and Hutton are currently leading by 2-0. It might always be winter in Narences and never Christmas, but it isn't always the time for gifts. Ben Greener Astrophysics Expedition will do nicely. At the overachieving end of the Hutton systems table, we have 6 systems above 60%, one of which, LP532-81, is on 75%, and we will expand imminently, so keep an eye on our systems roster to spot the new one and decide if it's worth sticking around in, sticking up, or just sticky. Priorities this week are: if you want to truck something, give Barnard Star a boost, or just deliver some mugs and gin. If you want to shoot something, take aim at the prison colony inmates in Narences.
Two updates on events this week. Does the sun still rise in the east, week 29, and passage to Andromeda. First, from Commander Presence, does the sun still rise in the east, week 29. Stars! I see stars! Lots of them in the night sky. After seeing nothing but the odd twinkle for months and months, to see a vista that is even remotely like those in the core or Colonia is a real tonic. Just knowing that each one of those is an actual place I can visit is breathtaking, although it will have to wait as I haven't got the time now. I have left Norma's expanse and am now traversing her arm. But I think I may actually have her bingo wing, as I am finding a high proportion of really boring brown dwarf type stars. There has been precious little of any note, just one Earth-like world, some humdrum biology, and one huge crater. And an unusual sight of a ringed gas giant as a moon of another, albeit bigger, gas giant around Planet 6 of the Blua Foyer GD-N B38-1 system. Apologies to Flossy as she has to read this. Whilst this may be the most unusual sighting this week, the highlight was reaching the incredibly boring and bark mound-free Ohio Nebula bang-on schedule for the expedition again. So I'm back on track and a measly 86 jumps away from waypoint 18 of 20, the JG Zarko Nebula. I may even plump for the optional waypoints and stops, the DSSA Void Crusaders at Grey Feo VK-0E6-4343 and the Anvil Nebula at East Hawks ZKB B2-9. Flossy, they make me do it. Here's hoping I can keep the pedal to the metal. Until next week, TTFN 07. And the passage to Andromeda. Secondly, we have the first update from Passage to Andromeda, which started just last week, so you can easily catch up. Here is Commander Yannick's update. The Passage to Andromeda expedition is now underway and we're visiting a Guardian ruin to investigate any changes to its behaviour after the recent Thargoid crisis. We are now at waypoint 2, which is named in tribute to the first commander to reach Sagittarius A, Zulu Romeo, a commander who is well known and much respected throughout the exploration community. His journey to the centre of our galaxy occurred when there weren't engineered modern models of FSDs. So his trip was extremely difficult in range and navigation, due to the unsophisticated navigation computers of the time. Now such a journey would be straightforward and effortless, but we achieved it in an era when it was very against the odds. And he achieved it at the earliest possible time too. Morale in the expedition is excellent as we approach our weekly meet-up. Commanders wishing to join us on our pan-galactic trip, then please sign up on ADSM. There's still time. 07.
And we're back in the studio. So, number one question. Frontier live stream?
Yeah.
Yes, there was. Friendship Live, number 17, with Bruce and Sally. It was this afternoon, a Thursday, at least consistent with the days. And they were sort of sat in. If you watched it, you saw they were sat in front of the Frontline Solutions desk. Was it Frontline Solutions or was it? It was Frontline Solutions, wasn't it? Not Apex on the other side. And
I thought it was the shop. Was it not the shop? You know, in the shop when you hand in your data?
I can't remember, but in the background, I think the presenters have kept seeing the NPCs walking around in the background on the screen. It got quite distracting. And several times they were like, "Oh, I've just like, who's that behind? Oh, it's on the screen. It's an NPC." It was quite amusing. Anyway, you notice the stuff they had on the table. Yes. And this week on the live stream desk, we have a Hutton mug, a Buckyball mug, a cuddly toy, a personalised Brucey mug.
Hang on a second. What is this? Is it the 1970s? A cuddly toy?
Yes, a Buckyball teddy bear.
Is there a Hutton teddy bear?
No.
Oh.
So, all the usual stuff. Twitch drops, which took time to load, but they were there. 15 minutes, and it is the end of the summer. So all the summer fruits and what did Arf call it? The summer blueberry, summer berry paint job last time. They're coming to an end. So this week's was a crate Phantom.
It's a very pretty ship.
Summer mango paint job. Is it on the screen? Oh yes, there it is.
Yeah, we do have it on the screen.
Did
I
they
thought
run
that,
out
P-
of
I thought that
paint?
PJ was pyjamas, but
It's not very
I
mango
keep
shaped
thinking
though, unless you slice your mango to look like a crate.
But would you eat a grey mango? What happened to the front? Anyway,
well, they must have run out.
I run out of paint.
Well, I don't know what colour mangoes are supposed to be in the first place, so I'd probably
Grey,
chew
they're
on
grey
it.
for you.
Well,
Yeah, he
started-
would eat a grey
started-
mango.
Well, probably.
Grey one. It's a mouldy. Anyway, so yeah, some
Looks more like a
news.
Dorito, says one of our listeners.
That's just the shape of it.
I like
Maybe they were
Doritos.
holding it by the front, so they
Yeah.
couldn't paint underneath their own thumb.
Well, that's schoolboy. That's just God. You never worked in a paint shop. You've got those port and starboard probes to hold it with. Come on.
Oh, they'd snap off.
Mine snapped off.
No, you get a piece of wire and you hook it through and you hang it up and then.
Well, I was sent a lovely 3D printed one, but yeah, in transit, the little sticky anti bits snapped off, and then I put them somewhere safe, and I don't know where somewhere safe actually is.
A safe space, yes.
So if anybody sees two pylons lying around the place, they're probably mine.
Those, in fact, that Rocinante, the multi cannons are still on it. You know, they've been snapped off. Doesn't that purple go well though with the orange and yellow? After my next 1970s party shirt will have to look something like that.
Well, we did see that picture in a previous week, didn't we, of you with the big fro and yes, your party shirt.
It wasn't me.
And the flares and yes.
Yes.
Anyway, well, so that was all that was in the stream. Summer mangoes.
We had the usual. Well, there was the usual purple stuff because it's Twitch, obviously. So if you haven't got yourself 47 sets of Explorers
stuff.
plates and ancestral tattoos and purple stuff, then you must be living under. Anyway. So, news.
You must be not on Twitch.
Yeah, he must be watching on YouTube.
Yes.
Or just never watch the live stream because
Yeah,
it's
there's
on at a
that.
funky time.
Well,
Yeah, it's
I
on
watch
during
the
working
live
day.
stream, so you don't have to.
Of course,
Always
they
get
also
info, yeah.
But
can't
that
be
means
listening.
I don't own anything purple.
They can't be listening to the radio station because we're not broadcasting on that tonight. So if you're listening from the radio station, you've done a good trick there. We're Twitch only
Those are
tonight.
Very
Yes.
good ears.
Yes.
Apology officer, you can do the next one. You must have done this.
Oh, yeah. Console transfers.
Are they a bit like paint jobs?
Console. Are they a
They're
bit
like
paint jobs?
decals.
There was a bit of it wasn't disagreement or uncertainty, let's say, about what the process was actually called. But anyway, I think I summarised it quite well there.
Yeah,
Go on.
console transfers the copy profile, console copy profile, copy, console process.
Because they started saying, "Oh, it's a transfer." It's not.
It's
really
not a transfer. It's it's a copy. It's a hanky clonomat.
I was going to say
it's an adapted hanky clonomat.
No, we covered it in the news, didn't we? The only thing they don't copy is your fleet carrier because it's too big to go in the
You don't get your fleet
photocopier.
carrier and you don't get your arcs. That's it.
You can photocopy the front end and then the middle and then the back.
So you get your statuses, like your elite statuses. You get all your engineered stuff. You get all your decals, your paint jobs,
Your permits.
your outfits, your permits, all your goodies come with you.
Do all the ships you've.
But what about your name?
Oh, you have to pick a new name because the thing is, your existing commander still exists on Xbox with all the stuff exactly as you left them. So you can't have the same name again because it would clash.
So we can't have two King Hankies, for instance.
You can't have two King Hankies.
You get all your planet tags and all that stuff. Have you checked?
That all goes into the game. That doesn't go with you, does it?
Yeah, that's tied to your original commander still. So you get no credit.
That happens in the game. It won't apply it to your new commander. It'll still be your old commander who found it.
So you could do a hanky actually, and you could run more than one account at once. So you could play on your Hotbox or PS4 at the same time with your foot or something as you're playing with your PC. So you're actually playing what at one point was the same account, and then they would slowly diverge.
They'll diverge. Yeah, mine's already diverged because I've been buying stuff, like suits and weapons and things.
It wouldn't be the first commander to be spending both boxes transferring all the goodies from one fleet carrier to the other either. Yeah,
well, you don't have to do that. It's just there, you know. But I've had to get around buying Odyssey things now because what you do is when you get there, you get a free copy of Horizons. So
right.
If you want to play Odyssey with your new PC commander, you will have to buy Horizons.
You get a free copy of both Horizons, 3.8 and 4.
Yeah. But that leads us on to another point, which I'll hand back over to Chicks for.
Well, there's still a little bit to go on that. So what they said, they haven't. This process will remain open to a point in time. There's no end date yet, but when they think it's been open for sufficient time, they will advise the date at which it will stop. So a bit like the transfer window closing. So it's not imminent. So there's no need to panic, but you ought to do it. And even if, for instance, you're a hotboxer and you don't have a PC, you could still do it.
Yeah,
And then if you get a PC or whatever later on, you could always...
Or use one of these online services. What is it, the GeForce Now or something, where you can just play it online with a potato and as long as your potato is connected to a fast internet, you're all right.
If you have a potato.
Well, yes,
right. Yeah. Okay. So they'll let us know, or let the console players know when the process is going to end. Yeah, like you were saying, 4.0. Our friends at the Burr Pit have very cleverly done a very nice video showing the new, betterer graphics that you can get with Odyssey.
But this is the betterer that we've had with Odyssey, but betterer than 3.8.
Yes. So, I hope we got the technology to play that.
Well, I do. I was a bit, do we have the permission to do so? Because obviously it is their work over on the Burr Pit's channel. And I looked at it and thought, oh, should we just direct people to go and see the Burpit? Because that's only sort
we
of
could,
fair.
yeah. If somebody wants to pop the,
I would play it, but I think it's a little, just from all the hard work that I know Rini does into videoing Burr while he's flying
I'll tell you
around.
what, let me pop the. Let me just. It's not working.
Oh, you're getting the link anyway. But yes, I was just thinking on that one because obviously you should be following the Burpit, you should be watching it, and it's not quite fair of us to put their content out on ours.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Anyway, there's
follow the
link.
Burpit. Have a look at the Horizons perspective.
Not now. Don't do it now.
No. Later, after this, while we're processing the show and trying to upload it to YouTube and untangling all the hamsters that got tangled at the start of the show. Yep.
Yeah. And also, Odyssey, you've got, where are we now? We're the 22nd today. You've got until midnight on Saturday, if you're in the UK, of course. But midnight on Saturday, Frontier time, with 45% off Odyssey. So if you've got an alt or you don't,
or you've just come over from
Yeah,
Hotbox and
transfer
you want to buy Odyssey, yeah.
are you going to mention what you did?
So not only do you get a free Horizons, you get a cheap Odyssey.
Not like me who bought it in day one.
You were too
Yeah, paid full price, like a mug.
See, I got one earlier this week.
Mug.
And I've buffed my alt, just in case I ever decide.
I don't know if you're allowed to admit to that on the radio.
Well, it's what goes on in private stays in private. So yeah, I might be whipping out my alt at some point,
and as we've got Litho in here, over and above that one, there was Galnet news covered elsewhere, but there was a big reveal about our friend Sal, wasn't there, Litho?
Yeah, it turns out apparently she's not much of a fan of Aisling Duval.
See, I wouldn't have thought that. I mean, there are certain characters in there I think Sally would go boo at, but I wouldn't have thought,
I think it's the hair.
Blue and pink have always been enemies.
Yeah. Pink hair is different.
Yeah, I think that's got to be it, really.
Yeah. Blue. Yeah. And it's a shame. I've just allied myself with Aisling Duval.
So you're in Sally's bad books.
Well, I could be. I'm only in it for prismatics. But
your mercenary reasons. Yes, I bought those a long time ago for all the different sizes. It must be years and years ago now, and then realised I've not used them once.
I got the who's the Yuri? Is it Yuri Grom? I can't remember. Oh, Archon Delane. I got the Saito Scramblers on the recommendation of the let's say bloody lethal Alex Zuno. A very nice how to kill lots of stuff very quickly video. And I've got the Saito Scramblers, and I've engineered them to grade 5. Holy moly, God. It just rip shields off ships. So if you have a small, I put them on my mug delivery Cobra. So every time I get interdicted, I just submit straight away and then just smash the thing that comes in, whatever it is. It's incredible. You have to finish them off with multi-cannons, of course.
And then one for Flossy, because obviously Flossy covers the events for us. We had news of an event from the last 2 days.
This one.
Which one?
That one that says events on it.
Events.
That one. Yeah.
All right. In 2 days, the Buckyballer launch Last Gasp details an excellent video by the High Wake.
Now, I do have this video, I think. So should we I'm going to see whether I can possibly put this video up. Because Buckyballers do like us showing things off. So let me see if I can run VT. Somebody can put the link up as well. But
it's also, the link is also all about the event, what it involves, what you have to do, and there's a lovely little video.
I'm just trying to work out whether it's this one or that one. That's the thing. Let me just talk amongst yourselves for a second, just while I double check that.
You said it was video 3 before.
Is it? It's not. It's the Last Gasp, isn't it? That one.
Yes.
It's called The Last Gasp. Well, it's this one then. Hang on a second. Well, that'd be the wrong
Seamless.
video then. Is it the animated one?
Yes.
Yes.
So it's this one.
Nope.
Absolutely.
That was good.
That was excellent.
That was the right video. That
Seamless.
one, yes.
That was.
Yeah, eventually.
Yes.
So just pretend I didn't play the other video at all. That
What
didn't
other
happen.
video?
No.
Oh, you're going to have to edit this bit out now as well.
Yeah.
We just held our breath and waited.
That's
Right. So back on track though. There's been a birthday.
Yes.
Yay!
Hey.
Yes.
It's Elite.
Someone was 38 this week.
Yep, 38 years young this week, which is all of 17 years older than me. But it's let's switch this one. It's this
17
one.
years older than you.
Yes.
He's 21.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
No, it's not that one. Ah, it's that
It's
one.
not that one.
There we
That's
go.
the one.
It's that one. Yeah, there we go. Load new commander Y/N. Copyright Aconsoft.
That's 1986.
I remember
Can't be
playing
19.
that.
Now, unfortunately, the machine that's been
watching
played on there is not from 1984.
No, it isn't.
No.
I played it on a BBC though.
Yeah, this is the
Well,
same
that's
kind of
almost
machine.
a BBC.
It is, yeah,
it's
very
one of
nearly.
those new ones, isn't it?
Yeah, that's one of the final
No,
edition
Helen,
BBCs.
it's not one of those new ones.
Newer ones.
It's not an
Didn't
Acorn
ring.
Electron, I can tell you that.
Was the
No.
original black and white? Or did it have colour? I can't remember.
I seem to
It
remember
had
the
colour.
original being
Well,
black. and
it
Yeah,
had
yeah,
colour
it
at
had
the
colour.
bottom, and it was black and white at the top.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was orange when you had the basic ship, and when you got your escape pod, the whole screen went white, didn't it? The cockpit.
I had the Commodore 64 version, because they were all subtly. There were 19 different ports. Well, 18 from the BBC.
Of which we had
17.
about 7 of them on display at LaveCon this year.
Yeah.
Went through quite a.
I seem to remember it being in black.
We had the
and white, so-
Nintendo version, we had the BBC version, we had the Master version, and the coprocessor version, and the C64 version, and the Specky version, all at LaveCon this year.
What was the difference between the normal version and the master version?
Um,
Some of them had
missions. There was a missions
Yeah,
difference.
had more missions.
Ah, okay.
And I played Elite 2 on the Amiga 500.
Whoa.
State of the art back then.
Well, still
I
tastes
remember
the
it when
art
it came out.
compared to some people's potatoes, yes. And so, moving swiftly along, stellar screenshots.
Hang on a minute.
yeah,
Hang on
right.
a minute.
Yeah,
We're just missing a birthday right now.
Yeah.
yeah,
Who else's
it was
birthday?
Robert Maynard's birthday yesterday,
Yeah.
Who's
Who
Robert
else?
Maynard?
and
birthday yesterday?
it was Nem's birthday yesterday,
Oh, and who else?
And who else?
and now stellar screenshots.
No.
I know.
And it was your birthday yesterday, wasn't it?
Yes.
You can't get out of it.
You can't.
And I think, as is tradition, we should all give you a rousing rendition of "Happy Birthday to You."
Happy
birthday
Oh,
to
Happy
you.
birthday to you.
Happy birthday to
Happy
you.
birthday to
Happy
you.
birthday,
Happy birthday,
21.
Happy
birthday
birthday
to you.
Yeah.
And many more.
This is an emergency announcement. Medical team to Wonders. Rampage didn't wait for the custard to go again.
Yep. You see, I had that one lined up specially because I knew you were going to do that. We definitely need a medical team after that one, or at least my ears do. But thank you very much, everybody. Yes, 21 yet again. Amazing how many 21st birthdays one person can have.
Yes.
Yes.
And now, still screenshots.
Well,
Were there any?
Yeah, there were loads.
Yeah.
Were they good?
Yeah,
They were stellar.
to be honest, I was playing the game in the background. I wasn't looking.
Yeah, there's some good ones.
There was some really nice ones, actually.
I saw one or two.
Do they get paint jobs? Well, they do. They get some paint packs or something for.
I think they get something for the ASP, don't they?
They get their ASP what?
ASP.
Yes.
It's three different ships,
Asp
aren't they?
Explorer.
Yeah.
Well done, all those people with stellar screenshots. Now, do I get to push this other button now?
Well, you can push A button.
So there was another video. This was from The Exorcist.
Who makes great videos. You saw the intro to it earlier on, but it's all about exploration.
But anyway, The Exorcist you can also find on YouTube, I believe. We can put the YouTube link out there. But we'll give you a sneak preview. It looks a bit like that. Flying across the rings. But it's a web series. It is definitely a web series that The Exorcist is running. We're not going to spoil it by doing the whole thing. This is a little teaser for you, but search for The Exorcist. We've put the link up in the chat channel, and you can see the rest of this video. Oh, I mean, that flying over that planet like that is hard. I've done that for a video for HCS. That's really hard without dying.
The ship launch fighter, this is great.
Excuse me. But anyway, for more of that, go and find The Exorcist out there on GalTube. Then there was even more. There was Derrin, who's one of the development team, talking about systems and mechanics, settlements and installations, up-down tourist beacons. Tell me what up-down tourist beacons means.
Well, I think this is the third time
Are they
in
tourist
recent...
beacons that go up and down?
The third time in recent weeks. I think Derrin's been on the live stream. But anyway, when they asked him what he did, what do you do, Derrin? He says, I deal with systems and mechanics. And we were still none the wiser. So he sort of went into a bit of depth about installations and things. Obviously, installations are the things you find in space, floating around like prison stuff. And there's a tourist installation, and and the thing about those, obviously, there's no gravity, unlike Hutton Orbital, of course. And there's no real perceptible up or down. So they were talking about the difference between installations and then settlements. And obviously settlements are very familiar to us because there's gravity and we understand, how doors work and what buildings tend to look like. So obviously we're a bit more familiar. And then he went on to talk about all kinds of other stuff they'd put in the game and how they put it in. And one of the things they were talking about was sort of a trip down memory lane of all the tourist beacons they'd been involved with. All the early ones were sort of manually added to the game. And then there are, settlements and installations are procedural. But tourist beacons are really added to the game in 2016 when passenger missions came in.
We've got to have somewhere to go, it's sort of...
go, exactly.
Yeah. I mean, there are tons of them around over in Colonia, outside. Around Jack's station. There's a stack of them.
Look out the window at that. There's one right over there out the window. Look.
It's even got For the Mug written on it.
Yes. So they're all over the place. There's a lot of talk about that, and then people in the chat were posing questions, and one of whom was our very own Happy Moon Monkey. And I'm racking my brains trying to think what he asked. He might tell us in the chat. But,
probably. But anyway, yeah. So
it was about whether how much sort of tool kitting there was in terms of copy and stuff. So basically, as you notice, most settlements follow one of many plans, but they import rooms and furniture and all that. So it's a bit of a sort of self-assembly. It's a bit of an IKEA.
Unsurprisingly, space buildings are a bit modular.
It's a bit like stickle bricks.
Modular was the word I was looking for.
Stickle bricks.
Yeah, exactly.
Prefabs. They're prefabs.
Yeah, prefabs. Yeah.
I thought they were made of sprouts.
Well, I haven't seen a brick built one yet. That's
No.
Well, I've seen ones with big pictures of willies drawn on them, but
Timber.
that's subject of an apology earlier in the show.
Yes.
Anyway,
Yes.
dun 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 dun. Okay, Flossy.
Yes.
Well, too hot, too messy. Just wind back for a second, back to the bit that Chicks was talking about with the too hot, too messy, because it has become a weekly thing now to award.
Oh, I can't hear
mug.
for the drum rolls.
That's all right. Well,
cheese roll.
It'll stop. It says drum roll. So I'm going to say this week's mug winner is, and then they stop the drum roll. You have to stop now. That's it. Was number
It is.
17?
Number 17, Wojciech Dannyboy.
Congratulations to
Dannyboy.
Commander Wojciech Dannyboy.
That's all calling Dannyboy.
Wojciech calling Dannyboy, yes. Congratulations, you have been awarded a Hutton mug for your contribution to the Too Hot, Too Messy campaign. How do they claim it?
They send an email to I
Smoke signals.
took part at
huttonorbital.com.
huttonorbital.com. Sorry, I had something in my throat there.
That one, yeah. I took part at huttonorbital.com. I obviously prove that you are Wojciech Dannyboy. A nice, screenshot of you logged into the Hutton Helper or your ship control panel, just to prove that you're you. And make sure you put an address in there. If you wouldn't mind adding a phone number so we can give the phone number to the courier as well, because sometimes they like phoning you when they turn up to say, I'm about to lob it over your fence, please catch.
I'm about to lob your parcel over next door's get face.
Absolutely, we've fed it to next door's hamsters or something. But yes, if you can give us contact details so we can send your mug off to you, please, that would be absolutely lovely. If Wojciech Dannyboy is not here listening to the show at the moment, because somebody who knows Wojciech Dannyboy, please poke them in the ribs and say, "Oi, you've got a mug."
He is one of the winged hussars.
The Winged Hussars. Well, I may have to get in
Pretty
touch.
sure we met him at LaveCon.
Yeah, we did indeed, actually. Yes, hiding in the corner of the field, up on that little bench full of hussars.
Huzzah!
Hussars, yes. Well, if we can't find him, I do know a man that knows. So, congratulations. Now, Aemilia,
Yeah.
just in case anybody is curious how they get to win a genuine Hutton mug, how would they win a genuine Hutton mug?
Well, if you want to win a genuine, and I mean genuine, Hutton mug, just be sure to deliver at least 10 mugs and 10 gin over the next week, while having the Hutton Helper running, of course. And you could be in for a chance of being drawn from a list of everyone who have also qualified.
How nice.
I thought there was some padding going on there, but it went well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Very good.
So anyway, what begins with A and ends with aardvark? Oh, no, wait, no, that's not right.
Aardvark!
Aardvark! Okay, aardvark!
Aardvark.
And with the A word, it's time for Flossy with this week's CG News.
It's Flossy. It's Flossy. It's Flossy. It's Flossy. And the community goes.
Hello, Flossy here with this week's Community Girls News. Last week's CGs, or rather the week before and last week, Defend 42 and Percy, Chun Pindit and Takiyal from Dargoid Attack. Defend 42 and Percy completed on Sunday morning. There's over 650 billion credits earned. Sorry, that's 550. I can't read. Defend Chun Pindit from Dargoid Attack finished at tier 7 at 6 0600 this morning, UTC, with just under 352 billion credits earned. Defend Katitial from Thargoid attack finished just short of tier 8, also at 6 am 0600 UTC, with over 488 billion credits earned. And now this week's new CGs. Aisling Duval Charity Fundraiser. A fundraiser hosted by Princess Aisling aims to finance a support network for Imperial citizens affected by Thargoid aggression. The Citizens Relief Trust has been established in the Semius system, prompted by the loss of thousands of military personnel during the Battle of HIP 22-460. She announced, "While the Empire is focused on increasing its military strength, we must not forget the human cost of ongoing conflict with the Thargoids. Those who died in battle will be honoured by assisting the families and dependents left to mourn them. The Citizens Relief Trust plans to establish support centres to ensure their financial and emotional needs are met. To raise funding, I have requested deliveries of Eshu umbrellas, Xi biomorphic companions, and Chateau d'Aiguillon. These luxury commodities will be auctioned or sold at a special gala I plan to host for Imperial nobility, with all proceeds used to establish this network. Wine and fish is also requested to serve to our distinguished guests. Although we cannot help those bereaved families who live beyond the Empire's borders, I hope that the Citizens Relief Trust inspires the creation of similar charities elsewhere." Pilots are asked to make their deliveries to Mackenzie Relay Starport in the Semius system. Along with credits, the following paint jobs will be provided to qualifying contributors to a successful campaign. Top 75% Dolphin Excursion Blue paint job. Top 50% Orca Acemic Black and White paint job. Top 25% Beluga Expedition Blue paint job. These reward tiers are cumulative, with higher percentage qualifiers receiving the rewards from the previous tiers also. Campaign began today, the 22nd of September, and will run for 1 week. If the final target is met earlier than planned, the campaign will end immediately. Protecting deliveries in Semius. A fundraiser hosted by Princess Aisling aims to finance a support network for Imperial citizens affected by Thargoid aggression. The Citizens Relief Trust has been established in the Semius system, prompted by the loss of thousands of military personnel during the Battle of HIP 22-460. She announced, "While the Empire is focused on increasing its military strength, we must not forget the human cost of ongoing conflict with the Thargoids. Those who died in battle will be honoured by assisting the families and dependents left to mourn them. The Citizens Relief Trust plans to establish support centres to ensure their financial and emotional needs are met. To raise funding, I have requested deliveries of luxury commodities to be auctioned or sold at a special gala I plan to host for Imperial nobility, with all proceeds used to establish this network." At special request from Princess Aisling, Lavinia's Legion has been tasked with protecting those who are transporting these valuable cargoes. Bounty vouchers will be reimbursed for all wanted ships that are destroyed in the system and can be delivered to Mackenzie Relay Starport in the Semius system. The top 75% of contributors will also receive the Python Predator Teal paint job. The campaign begins today, 22nd of September, and will run for 1 week. And if the final target is met earlier than planned, the campaign will end immediately. And that's it for this week's CG News.
Flossy told you what to do.
Thank you, Flossy. Do you know, those paint jobs remind me of an old Tommy Cooper sketch. Pretty sure they're blue with blue spots, white with white spots, and if you turn the bag inside out, the spots all fall off. But now it's Galnet News Spot.
Galnet News Update, 22nd of September 3308.
Azimuth Biotech should be charged with willful endangerment and accessory to mass murder after its leader Salvation caused the deaths of well over 100,000 naval personnel. That's the claim of federal civil rights group Advocacy, and they claim that the ruling in the Admiral Tanner case backs them up. Tanner had his sentence commuted because the court accepted that he'd been disobeying orders to try and save the lives that were lost when the Proteus wave went so badly wrong. And that ruling suggests that the court implicitly accepts that Salvation was undertaking illegal acts and deliberately deceiving the superpowers. Director Rhiannon Grady of Advocacy is not calling for the leaders, Hudson, Mann and Lavigne Duval, to stand trial. But many other citizens' rights groups believe that they should face justice for knowingly or unknowingly allowing Salvation to cause countless civilian deaths in Cornsar, Didio, Novas and Sosong, as well as committing their navies to the ultimately disastrous engagement in HIP 22460. Azimuth Biotech's acting CEO Torben Rademacher has brushed off these calls for legal action, insisting firstly that Salvation didn't make a mistake, and secondly that if he did make a mistake, well, that's down to him personally, not the corporation as a whole. Insisting that all science, regardless of outcome, advances knowledge, Rademacher made the interesting observation that the initial blue operation of the Proteus wave went exactly to plan, and that the second green blast appeared to be a result of the weapon being recalibrated by the Thargoids to shut down human ships instead of Thargoid ones. He said that Salvation's mistake, had he made one, which of course he didn't, would have been to underestimate the ability of the Thargoids to retaliate so quickly and effectively. HIP 22460 remains a no-go area for all civilian traffic, with the Thargoids firmly in control.
Princess Aisling Duval is hosting a charity drive for the families of those who lost their lives in HIP 22460, and she'd like your help gathering rare goods to auction off. There's something slightly odd about this charity drive. The prismatic princess is willing to pay well over the odds for the rare goods, and then plans to auction them off, presumably for even higher prices, to help provide financial and other support to the families left behind by those who died assisting the Proteus Wave initiative. It doesn't sound like a particularly good way to make money, especially as the Blue Rinse Princess is also planning to spend vast amounts of money to bounty hunters protecting the traders who are bringing in the absurdly expensive goods. And she's giving out paint jobs to the top 75% of those who take part. And you know how expensive arcs are. The charity that will benefit is the Citizens Relief Trust, which will set up support centres for bereaved families in the Empire. Aisling does not plan to help bereaved families elsewhere, and encourage the Alliance and Federation to do their own fundraising if they want support for their bereaved families. Charity begins at home, after all. Aisling plans to auction off the Ishu umbrellas, the She-He biomorphic companions, and Chateau de Aegion to an unspecified audience of imperial nobility. Given that she has very recently openly criticised the Emperor, it is unclear just how many imperial nobles will agree to attend, especially given the unusual banquet menu of wine and fish. Only wine and fish. Fish for every course, including the pudding. Mackenzie Station in Semius is going to smell of fish for months. Just mark my words.
"10 days of hunting Thargoids in the not entirely grateful systems of Tekit Jal, Chun Pindit and 42N Percy seems to have achieved little, with huge numbers of anti-Xeno combat zones still evident in the affected systems. The three systems were invaded by relatively polite Thargoids on Tuesday last week. The Thargoids did not attack any stations and remained politely in the designated combat areas, later to be joined by several Farragut battlecruisers. The three initiatives were well supported by anti-Xeno pilots, with 1.3 trillion credits paid out in bounties. And at the end of the 10 days of combat? Well, a lot of pilots are a lot wealthier. The tiny economies of the affected systems are presumably massively in debt. The Thargoids are still there, humanity remains in control, and the starports all remain intact. No one has won, no one has lost. Perhaps there should be a rematch.
Thank you, Commanders Beetlejude and Witherspoon. Now, it's time to head over and see who has overachieved at what this week. It's the Hutton Helper results with Mia Harkness.
Welcome to the Hutton Helper results. The Hutton Helper results are sponsored by the Hutton Helper, the only third-party resource to come with the phone number for Tracy Island, in case you need the Thunderbirds. This week we have the following events: the Survival at the Edge of the Galaxy Cup, the Titanic 2 Deja Vu Trophy, the Bring 'em Back Alive Mission Challenge, the He's Fallen into Water Charity Shield, the Survivors Will Be Shot Award, and the Launch the Lifeboats Abandoned Ship Time Trial. So, get your life jacket all blown up, check your fuel gauge, and don't run with scissors. The Hutton Helper results are: Northern Paladin jumped 26,000 light years to come first in distance travelled. Tolian sold 25,000 tonnes of cargo. Mindwipe is our top mission runner this week with 512 mission points. Stephen Gift handed in 149 million credits worth of bounties. Darth Chicken, spelt D4RTHCH1CK3N, handed in 1.174 billion credits worth of combat bonds. And Jack's Ring Raider delivered 691 people to their various destinations. So, decals this week for Northern Paladin, Tolian, Stephen Gift, Darth Chicken, Jack's Ring Rider, Lee Tai for Systems Visited, Mike Castiglione for Cargo Bought, Jack Wilmslow for Data Cashed In, Quianus T Geek for Objects Scanned. Please email itookpart@huttonorbital.com and arrange to collect your Hutton decal kit, which this week consists of a survival wallet, well, it's a yellow body bag really, a whistle, and a waterproof torch with a Hutton template on it. There have been 14 Hutton runs in the last 7 days. The top 5 times are: Norbert Patinod, 1 hour 23:56. Birdnose, 1 hour 24 and 3 seconds. Apology Officer, that's me, 1 hour 24 minutes and 32 seconds. Jintosh, 1 hour 24 minutes and 40 seconds. And Zenzob Krell, 1 hour 24 minutes and 46 seconds. There's a whole galaxy of stuff out there needing irrigated, sniffed, snuffled, postponed, hidden from, flipped, mistranslated to and from Spanish, chilled, mugged, ginned, shipped, shot, rescued, looted, repaired, destroyed, bought, sold, squeezed, inflated, burnt, frozen, liquidated, evaporated, sandblasted, sponged down, smelled, licked, extruded, discombobulated, recombobulated, pilfered, rubbed, compressed, enveloped, siphoned, regurgitated, strained, fermented, poached, interrobanged, upcycled, violently downcycled, smelted, and probinated. And you can earn yourself a very fetching Hutton decal for doing it. To get involved, you just have to go to hot.forthemug.com and download or sign up for the spectacular Hutton Helper available in 3 exciting formats. Let's face it, anything has to be better than listening to a band playing Abide With Me while your ship sinks, or explodes, or slowly burns up as it gets pulled towards the star. Anyway, that's it for me. Back to the studio.
Thank you, Mia. Now this is one we've been waiting some time for. Don't get the wobbles, it's time for Aemilia Hawke with this week's Galnet Rares Digest.
Good evening. This is Aemilia Hawke reporting for the Galnet Rares Digest. We try all the galaxy's rarest and most dangerous commodities, so you don't have to. There's a rare in the list that I've been postponing. It's not for the reasons that you might think. It's not, on the face of it, more dangerous than any of the others, or harder to find. It's not going to try and eat me or disembowel me. And it's not, well, as far as I can tell, poisonous or illegal. But I did want to be in the right frame of mind for this one, and alone. You'll see why in a bit. It costs about the same as a gimbaled multi-cannon, whilst the canister that holds what I'm about to review is your galactic standard shape, size, and weight. Most of that is experiential. What's in the canister is it's a small tube, smaller than a toothpaste tube. In fact, the tube is about the size of a small tube of superglue. I think I said tube too many times then. Anyway, the rest is packaging. Open the box and there are lights, there's music, there are slow opening doors and drawers, and as you press various colored buttons, there are scents and mists. The whole experience is, a big piece of marketing. What you've bought is valuable. It's special, and clearly the people selling it want you to get that wow factor. There's a handwritten note from the founder of the company that really makes it. It has gold edges and an embossed stamp of authenticity. Inside the large cargo canister, once all the theatrics are finished, there's a simple wooden box on a cushion. The box is engraved with a few words. Hold your breath. Make a wish. Count to 3. Come with me and you'll be in a world of pure imagination. So, I'm in a suite that comes as part of my order. I upgraded from a simple shipment to the entire package. Just one night, there's a jacuzzi, a minibar, a huge bed. And just for tonight, it's just me and my little tube. I'm in the Dia Montrosa system at Pins and Dock, and I'm very comfortable. Oh, and yes, this is Montrona Experience Jelly, custom made to my requirements. What's in the tube has been carefully chemically crafted to my exact specification. Before I made my choice, I read the paperwork carefully. The jelly can be rubbed into your skin, and after a few moments, apparently temporarily hijacks your neural pathways. All your senses are taken over for around about an hour, and you can experience quite literally anything you want. It's the ultimate virtual reality. Everything that you see, you hear, you feel, for the time you're under the influence, your brain is convinced that you're actually there. Have you ever wanted to experience first footfall on Mars? Or relive an experience from your own youth? You can get them to program it in. Skydiving, exploring deep oceans, being a bystander at that Big Bang. And of course, for those lonely, sad souls, they can experience other activities, with people that in real life you'd never, ever have the chance with. Seedier purchasers with extra cash can experience exactly what it would be like to engage in carnal activity with the object of their affection. Morally dubious, ethically unsound, but there is quite literally no limit to what they can program in for you. However, as someone whose moral compass points firmly in the right direction, okay, that almost came out. It's mostly in the right direction. Okay, I can't say I wasn't tempted when filling out the form, but to be on the safe side, I sent my request in and chose something that wasn't seedy. A luxury imperial spa treatment. The full pamper package, the ultimate in self-indulgent relaxation. The jacuzzi, the deep tissue massage, the music, sights, sounds of the galaxy's most expensive me time. And all that in a little tube no longer than my pinky finger. So I'm going to leave the audio recording running so I can talk to you while I'm in the zone, through what it's like. I've bathed. I'm relaxed in my suite. I've got a loose synth silk kimono. And, it's time. I squeeze the contents of the tube out into my palm, and as per the instructions, which were read out to me by a disembodied someone who sounds, a bit stern. Yes, that bit is customizable too, but I chose the default based on my experience. This must be what a spa majordomo sounds like. I'm rubbing it liberally over myself. It's not greasy. It reminds me of, the kind of jelly that you can get as a pain relief for a bad back. It's clear, it's colorless, and it doesn't leave a sticky residue. It's just soaking into my skin. In a moment, you'd never know that you'd applied it. And the voice from the giant box tells me to lie back and close my eyes. I hope you can still hear this. Blackness and the feeling of the bed below me are fading. I can hear noises. It's dim images. Okay, everything's green. Green? I wasn't expecting green. I'm lying on something. This is not what I expected. This is hard. This is cold. There's a bright light above me, and somewhere I can't move my head or my arms. What? I'm strapped to something. There's a noise. It's like a chattering kind of noise in the distant thrum of machinery. If this is what an Imperial Spa weekend is like, I don't know what the fuss is about. I can distantly see a shape approaching me. It's weird. I can't move. It all seems so real. It's holding something. Oh no. No! This isn't right! Oh no, I just want this to stop. This can't be what I'm experiencing for the next hour. Recording off. It's okay. I'm back. It's okay. Well, actually, no. It's not okay. It's not okay. The effects have faded and I've gone back over the box. That wasn't what I ordered. I'm just checking the label. There must be a customer service number. Hang on. I'm going to give them a call. Hello? Yes, I want to speak to someone now. What the heck do you call that? I'm in suite 237B. Get someone here now. No, this isn't Mr. Smith. My name's Hawk, Aemilia Hawk. Scan the serial number on my case. Oh, okay. I'll do that. Hang on. What do you mean this isn't my case? Who's Mr. Smith? Don't give me that crap about data protection. Who is Mr. Smith? Okay. He's in suite 237D. No, don't worry. I'll be dealing with this myself. Right. Sorry, listener. You're just going to have to put up with this for a second. Someone needs to give Mr. Smith a proper slap. Smith! Oi, Smith! Open up, you sick puppy! Okay, he's opening the door. Hang on. I'm just going to mute the mic. You do not want to hear what I'm about to do to this guy. Back in a minute. Right. Back on. Sorry, what's that, officer? No, I just found him like that. Why is he clutching his groin and saying, no, make it stop? I don't know. I've got no idea. Did I take anything from his name? No, absolutely not. This is my tube of experience jelly. Look, I'll scan it. See that? It says Aemilia Hawke. That's me. Right, I'm off to my room to try out my Imperial Spa experience, which I really need right now. Anyway, listeners, this is a furious Aemilia Hawke reporting for the Galnet Rares Digest, and I've just experienced someone else's Thargoid probe fantasy, so you don't have to.
But you're okay.
Takes on a whole new meaning.
You're okay.
The word probinator takes on a whole new meaning.
Oh, I mean, the safest thing in the galaxy. You ordered it yourself. You lined up this lovely, relaxing, hour-long spa experience, all in your mind, and then the delivery driver cocked it up.
You should have known.
I did not leave a tip.
When they put you into Suite 237, you should have known. It wasn't the Overlook Hotel, was it?
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, it was in your room. The box was in your room. The room's booked to you. I mean, you would have no idea that Mr. Smith from next door, or a couple of doors down, would have some kind of sicko fantasy about Thargoids. I mean, just when they say they'll program it with anything, I mean, they do literally mean anything. I mean, I want to know how they know. I mean, is it what a Thargoid experience is like that? But maybe I don't want to know.
You don't want to know.
You don't want to know. Nobody wants to know.
How much do they pay the researchers?
Nobody should.
Well, look, we're really sorry. I mean, we're going to have words with the delivery team and see. Next time you might want to check. You haven't just put in, I don't know, skydiving without a parachute experience, or, I don't know, being chopped to bits by a dangerous plane. Oh, you tried that one already, didn't you?
Yeah, we've done that.
Yeah, done that one. Or really sharp bits of, I don't know, gemstone. We've done that one as well.
Yeah, we did that too.
Actually, I tell you what, if anybody was to nick your experiences and put them in one of these jellies, I think they might run away screaming.
It's all in, for a good cause.
You could sell that, be me for an hour.
Be me for an hour. You don't want to be me for an hour.
But you're okay now.
You for that particular.
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm scarred for life.
Well, I think so is Mr.
scarred
Smith.
For life.
Yes. After what you did
Mr. Smith is scarred in more places than one.
He is going to be
physically
walking.
scarred for life.
He is going to be walking funny for a long time. We saw the video footage on screen as you were broadcasting that of what exactly you did to Mr. Smith, and it brought tears to my eyes, let alone his. Yeah.
Don't worry, we've deleted the security feeds. You're okay.
Oh, good.
Yes. Well, yeah. Well, we're running out of rares sometime soon. I think we've only got about 8 to 10 left.
We'll have to start doing the Galnet mundanes.
Yeah, Galnet reviews.
This week I am
food.
trying.
It's a rock. What more do you want? This is the Galnet.
I will be sampling
grain.
The Commons Digest.
Yes, I will be sampling grain. Just grain.
Yeah, but we have found
not made into bread or anything.
Not made into bread or anything.
Grain.
Just grain. It's sort of brown and grainy.
An ancient repository we have dug up of things like edible poets and fat black felines. So we have also got the ones that are so rare you can't actually buy them or even find them anymore.
So rare.
Ooh.
Edible poets.
Yeah, the Galnet extinct.
Yes.
And
reviews. Yes.
Hoopy something.
Oh, Hoopy Casinos.
Hoopy Casinos. Yeah.
I want to know what a Hoopy Casino is. Yeah.
The Galnet Endangered Digest.
Well, we heard that aardvarks were also
Aardvark!
rather endangered. Anyway, right. Well, look, thank you very much to the radio crew for this evening. Thank you very much to Standby Tech for this week, but Main Tech on other weeks, Lithobreaker.
You're welcome.
And thank you very much to the maestro behind all things Too Hot, Too Messy, in terms of reporting on it at the very least, and delivering it, Commander Chicks.
Oh, yeah. It's the hamsters do all the work.
And thank you very much to Flossy, the queen of the community goals. Do we think anybody's going to bother helping out the blue-haired princess?
I'll take the prismatics.
No, Sally says no. Sally said no, so we're not going to. Right, well, yeah. And then thank you to the apology officer.
You're welcome. Whatever I did.
Thank you to yes, everybody behind the scenes as well. We will be back next Thursday. I won't be back next Thursday because, I don't know, I'm gallivanting around London somewhere, I think, next Thursday. But do we know, Lithobreaker, who's on tech next week? Have we got
I think it's me.
Our overlight back, or it could be you, or whichever?
I think it's me.
Okay. Well, we'll make sure you've got something to talk about at the very least. And
I love the prep that goes into this show. I think it's...
There's prep? Where?
Well, no, it was originally you, but then you had to pull double bubble. Yeah, you had to pull double bubble, didn't you?
Yeah, I did the last couple. Because Overlight had something that came up very suddenly and had to pull out, as it were.
Is that thou shalt get thine arse to London quickly? Kind of.
That was the one.
Yes,
yeah.
One of those ones, yes. So, yeah, well, thank you very much, everybody. And Aemilia, look, I'm going to try next week to send you a rare...
Somewhere nice.
So, yeah, exactly. Well, how about beer? Should we just do a beer or a wine? Yeah?
I like wine, too.
Well,
I was just wondering why they couldn't just have an extra couple of rare goods instead of wine and fish. Like Saxon wine.
I thought you just said sex and wine.
Saxon wine.
Oh, Saxon
wine.
She did say sex and wine.
Wine in sex.
P-Y.
What's that? Proto squid. Oh, dear. Excuse me.
Feel free to send me off for some Saxon wine.
Saxon.
You'll have Gideon and you'll like it.
No, instead of having
no sex,
ordinary
please.
wine,
We're
ordinary fish.
Yes.
You'll have Gideon and you'll like it, Amelia.
There's something very fishy going on over there. Right, well, that's that from us. I'm sure there are some aardvarks somewhere, but...
Aardvark!
Other than that, for your regular listener, you'll know what's about to happen. For those who aren't regular listeners, you may want to move your earpieces away from your ears for a second, because it's about to get very, very loud. We're going to give you a few seconds to do that before I say, Aemilia?
For the mug!
For the mug!
For the mug!
For that mug.
Journey too long and no cargo too small. The profit margins never really mattered at all. We're gonna take the cargo where it's needed today. Super cruising all across the Milky Way. We'll take anything, anytime, anywhere. Loading up the T-Nines to the brim with rail. For the mug, yeah, you know just where we're coming from. For the mug, now everybody sing the Hutton Trucker song. Flossy always seems to crash into the sun. Swivel likes the pilot on the Xbox One. Alvin at the front, you know he leads us well. Trucking across the galaxy, now everybody yell. For the mug, yeah, you know just where we're coming from. For the mug, now everybody sing the Hutton Trucker song. For the mug, yeah, you know just where we're coming from. For the mug, now everybody sing the Hutton Trucker song. day. Super cruising all across the Milky Way. We'll take anything, anytime, anywhere. So shout it out loud like you don't even care. Father Bug, yeah, you know just where we're coming from. Father Bug, now everybody sing the Hutton Trucker song. Father Bug, yeah, you know just where we're coming from. Father Bug, now everybody sing the Hutton Trucker song.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're very sorry, but that's the end of the show. Everyone's buggered off now, so why don't you bugger off too?